Lockdowns will be coming to virtually every country very soon. I'm going to break down a lot of information in this video because this is going to be very important to you, your family, everyone you know, and everyone you care about, because it will affect you regardless of where you are. But there is a lot of things you can do to come out of this round two as a pureblood. Last time was the warm-up. Last time was easy. This time is going to be much more difficult. I've been talking pretty much 24 hours a day, nonstop the last week. People in my network, politicians, people in business leadership roles, people in high-level government roles across the entire planet. And I'll tell you right now, whether it's crypto or whether it's any other business, people are starting to try to figure out how to take action. We've actually put some stuff together at PrivacyX to be able to keep people out of this system because it is going to be very, very bad. I'm going to break all this stuff down, so you're definitely going to want to watch this entire video. It might be one of the most important that I've ever made when it comes to your future, because it doesn't matter who you are. This is going to affect you and your family greatly at the highest level possible. Your freedom, your ability to purchase things without having foreign injections put into your body, and your ability to prosper moving forward is literally on the line. And what you do and the action you take now will literally dictate that completely. So we're going to get into this today in Operation Lockdowns number 2. I've been putting up a ton of short form content on Twitter or X. Follow me over here and watch those videos talking about all kinds of stuff that is happening and things you can do to start moving forward. So if you haven't followed me on Twitter/X, whatever it is, this is my username. Go follow me over there. Starting to put up a ton of content again and let people know what's happening, talking about different things in the world, distractions. There's just so much going on. A lot of distractions are being out kind of propagated to push on people so they look here while the thing's happening here. Now, as somebody who's very good at sleight of hand, I know that age-old trick. My eyes are trained for that. My hands are trained for that, and I can see it. A lot of people, unfortunately, don't, so I'm breaking it down over on Twitter, and I'm also going to break this down right here. The fact is, this is coming back. It's been talked about on several, I guess you can call them alternative media sources, and now it's being talked about on more mainstream media sources to start conditioning your mind and conditioning your brain to understand that this is coming and there's really nothing you can do about it, so you need to start preparing yourself now. There's a few things you can start doing to start thinking about what's coming. Sounds like mid-September they're going to start rolling out some restrictions in some places. By October, most places are going to be masking up, starting to have restrictions. And by December, it's going to be full-blown lockdowns pretty much everywhere because it's another election season. And you know, when election season, we're on the cusp of a giant recession. They need a scapegoat. They need somebody to be able to blame. And so, like clockwork, because nobody could have ever planned this, all of a sudden, part 2 is coming through for me and you. So what do? Well, we're going to talk about the different things we can do. So the first thing, understanding the timeline, you're going to see by December massive lockdowns start to happen, and this is going to be a fundamental problem. Now, there's going to be a massive divide and a massive shift, but ultimately what's trying to happen with this much more deadly situation is they want to make it so you get the thing. So you're not a pureblood like me, basically, to be able to buy anything. They learned a bunch of valuable lessons from last time. They're not playing this time. They figured these things out. Now, so have myself and my team. Like I said, I've been talking to a ton of high-level people in my network over the last week. I've partnered with a few of them to help a bunch of people be able to do this. So basically, they're going to set it up so as every citizen with your bank account, you're going to have to get the thing to be able to utilize that and to be able to move these things forward, to be able to purchase things. A bunch of retailers are already on board, pretty much most of them, and a bunch of institutions. Obviously, countries are getting on board so they can have one system. And then if this global system works, of course, it'll become a global system. Now, there is a book I read about this once. I don't know what it's called. Oh, yeah, the Bible, but that's besides the point. That's obviously just a coincidence. Don't worry about that. That's another thing. I don't care if you believe in it or not. Obviously, it's just a coincidence that the things in that book are actually coming true and the things in that book that's been around since thousands of years. But whatever. Let's not worry about that right now. Let's worry about what's actually happening. So with version 2, we'll call it, because we got to be really careful what we say because, you can't give any misinformation. It's very important that we're careful what we say. With version 2, the timeline's going to start rolling out. December, things are going to start getting really bad. Now, businesses are going to be able to purchase things through what's called a trustee. And I've been setting these things up because the problem is if you're a person and you have a bank account in a personal name, you're going to have to get the, but corporations don't have to get the, and you notice if you've looked at some of the stories that have been coming out now, basically 100% of United States politicians are running their salaries through companies, kind of like I talk about doing in the Ghost program, because they are structuring themselves. Also, they're hitching crypto, the ability to exchange and the ability to utilize these things. They've also got a couple of bills. They've got a bill in Congress for the Ukraine funding that they attach the Hawaii funding, because even though Hawaiian citizens should be entitled to funding in their own country, can't do that unless you give it in Ukraine. But if you look at the experimentation they're doing in Ukraine right now, currently with, different things, then you're starting to see what's happening and what's coming. And this is very important. Now, you can look into all of the different medical stuff, and I think everyone should make their own decision. I'm not saying don't take something. That's a decision you got to make. But when they start connecting these things to your ability to use your own money and your own bank account, it's going to become very problematic. And what they're going to do is scare you, starve you, frighten you, threaten you, push you, fire you, whatever they can do right into this. And this is very, very important. So utilizing a business trustee disbursement account, which is what a lot of accountants and a lot of lawyers would recommend in a situation like this that is ghosted, is very, very, very important for a lot of people. Now, becoming a ghost is obviously going to be more important now than ever, but also being able to use an account that you don't have to get the card. If you have a job, this is going to be a fundamental problem. If you don't and you're an actual entrepreneur, this isn't going to affect you at all. If you're in crypto, it's going to affect you greatly if you need cryptos in your name. First thing you need to do is get all your crypto out of your name immediately. It's all got to be in ghost accounts, absolutely immediately, without question, because they're tying these bills together now through the legislative session. Now I'm starting to realize why they pushed this down the road. For a while, I thought it was the infighting, but now that I've been talking to a lot of people, I've realized it has nothing to do with the infighting. It has everything to do with timing. The timing of this is going to be attached to the crypto bill, and this is when people are only going to be able to utilize $1,000 in crypto. It's actually working out perfect, because with crypto down, it's easy for the institutions to get in, pump it up, then make a bunch of money. Everything in the crypto space runs off FOMO. You've seen the drop recently, but you're going to see the biggest pump ever in crypto, and it's going to be a one-time deal when the institutions get in. The institutions can't get in until this bill goes through. This bill can't go through without, the card. And so that's a very important thing. It is going to be connected to your bank account. Now, it's not going to be a CBDC. They're not actually going to use CBDC for this. They're actually going to use a purchase card that you're actually going to have to show at the time of use. When it originally rolls out, it's going to be a card the size of a regular card that you're going to have to present with your debit card. So no different than like a ID with a debit card. Well, this is going to be your card saying you have that. If you don't have that card, you'll be able to scan it. It'll have a QR code. You'll be able to scan it. These aren't going to be chips in your hand yet. That is at least a year and a half away for a lot of countries. These are going to be an actual physical card that you're going to be able to use and scan. You're also going to be able to get it on your device, your phone, or whatever device you have to scan it there. But if you don't scan it, you will not be able to purchase anything. The cool thing, I'm working with a couple banks in the new program where we're going to be able to set up a structure similar to like what Cakewallet had with Monero, but actually doing it through business trustee accounts so people can actually upgrade and do that. So it's a program that I'm working with them on. I've actually guaranteed it. If you guys want to check that out below, you can check it out below. If you're not fully ghosted, you can do the full ghost program, and this is a addition to it. So if you're currently in the ghost program, you can actually upgrade to this if you want to. But the reality is I explain it in depth down below. The reason I explain it down below in a separate video is because a lot of the things I talk about, I cannot talk about in this video because social media has no freedom of speech, and so you got to be very, very careful what you say. In that video, I'm basically break everything down, how it actually looks, so that's very important. But what I do want to say is a couple of things you're going to want to look at. You're going to want to look at how you can structure yourself. If you're in a country that does not believe in freedom, or if you're in the United States and you're in a state that does not believe in freedom, are you able to move? That's question number one. Question number one is, are you able to move to a better place? It's the first question you got to ask yourself. Now, for some people, the answer is yes. For some people, the answer is no. Okay, if you're not able to move to a better place, what is the next thing you can do? Well, couple of things you want to start thinking about and you want to start doing. The first thing is you want to look at resources for where you are. You want to look at the ability to utilize crypto to purchase things as opposed to banking. I recommend people take their money out of the banks because you're going to see an unlimited amount of banks crash. The banks that are going to crash around the world is going to be huge. Now, I don't recommend you close your account. I recommend you leave a bare minimum there, but I recommend for a lot of people start to get your money out of the banks because the fact is that is what's giving them a lot of power. By giving them money, by putting money in banks, it's giving them a lot of power. You need to start taking your money out. You need to start looking at gold, silver, Bitcoin, Monero. My recommendation, you do whatever you want to do with your money, but putting your money in the bank gives them this power. You're not going to be able to use it the way you think anyway. And once this card comes into place, for personal accounts, it'll get locked in there. Again, you'll be able to look at how these things are structured. It's going to be structured in different governments. Canada is making it right now where you cannot leave at all if you're part of the Canadian citizenship, dictatorship, whatever they have. You cannot leave Canada with any money is what they're looking at doing. They're also looking at doing what's called a snap election in Canada because Justin Trudeau is worried about a recession, and so he needs to figure something out. Also, obviously, this is coming to save the day, and won't he be the guy to save it? We're going to see this in Mexico. We're going to see this in all of Europe, certainly Western Europe. In fact, the program I'm talking about will work for you if you're in any of the countries here on the screen. You can see them. You can also, like I said, check out down below, and I break these things down more in depth. But this is what you want to start looking at. You want to start looking at if you can get to a freer place. If you can't get to a freer place, starting to look at restructuring your assets. Make sure that all of your assets are 100% ghosted and nothing is in your personal name. There's a reason why the most successful families in the world, the 13 families that none of us really like or respect and have caused a lot of the problems that we have in our lives, they've said, I mean, I say all the time, own nothing, control everything. But where do you think I got it? I got it from the richest people in the world, and you need to take that into account because that's exactly what they're doing. A lot of the people that I've been talking to in the political sphere, they're all setting up companies, ghost businesses. They're structuring themselves to where they can run everything through their business and do trustee accounts like I'm talking about. Because if they don't, they will have to do the you know what. And even if they're a Ron DeSantis, even if they're a governor or a mayor of a more free place, this is going to come out on a federal level or on a core government level in all the countries in Europe and all the countries in South America and all the countries in North America. Asia obviously is already on board. This is what's coming next. Now, what's going to happen is they're going to try to bring people to the brink so they agree to the CBDC. So keep in mind, this is the precursor. Getting that thing is to condition people for the CBDC. If they can condition enough people, they need to get to the 72% threshold. Now, I don't know why. Maybe you guys know why. Maybe you could tell me why. But I keep hearing from a lot of people in government that it's a 72% threshold. Once they get to a 72% threshold, they feel that they have enough confidence to be able to launch a CBDC without the care of the other 28% because their voice will be so marginalized that it really won't matter. And so this lockdown, this situation is going to be the precursor to the CBDC. It's going to be the precursor to any social credit score. Social credit score, in my opinion, won't really happen in the Western world till after the next election in the United States. That's going to be an after thing. But the CBDC, they're really trying to push. But before that, they need lockdowns. They need to bring people down. We have record inflation, so people have record low money. We have record distractions from aliens to wildfires, from train derailments to just complete annihilation. I mean, there's always a distraction. Obviously, they're indicting Trump for the extinction of the dinosaurs. They're indicting Trump for, you know, basically Bigfoot, the marshmallow man. I mean, anything they can think of, they'll indict Trump for. Now, I don't really care. It's all just a distraction. Frankly, for me, I'm not a big fan of either of the political parties. I think they're two sides of the same coin. This isn't politics, and politics is not going to get us out of this. The people actually standing up is going to, it's going to be what it takes to get out of this and taking action. The problem is people are not going to stand up. So you got to start standing up for yourself and protecting yourself. Taking it a step further past that. So we look at CBDCs coming. We look at businesses being able to structure themselves. Now, even if you're a business and you have a CBDC account, will that affect you? Well, to a certain degree, because everyone who gets paychecks will be in a CBDC, and there's really nothing you're going to be able to do about that once it gets going. But you'll be able to actually pay yourself through an S corporation through this new monetary system. Now, The good news about that is some of the shakeups in BRICS are actually help derail some of the stuff with the CBDC because it's hard to make a lesser of a currency. When BRICS is leaning into gold and currency, it's making it really tough for the United States or the Western world to go CBDC because people are championing that, and they're panicking at the Fed right now because it derails some of their plans, which is why they're pushing up their plan for this situation. You will see this roll out very soon, and you will see it affect you greatly. Now, another thing I get asked is travel. Travel is going to be a tough one. Travel is going to be a very, very tough one moving forward. What they're trying to do is basically eliminate travel. There's been a lot of countries in Europe, Canada's talked about this, where they want to eliminate short-form travel, right? So from planes, so if it's like within 2.5 hours, they want to eliminate all those flights. Well, now they want to start eliminating people's ability to travel. They want to start eliminating people's ability to move around freely because their ultimate goal is to be able to set themselves up where people want and ask for UBI and these 15-minute cities. This is what they're trying to mold. So resisting now while you can, setting yourself up now while you can to where you can get outside of this quote-unquote system so you can stay outside of it. The good thing is when we're talking about peer-to-peer, will the average person be able to buy from Walmart? No, they won't. But will the average person be able to use crypto who's ghosted and utilize something like Monero or utilize something like their business card to buy the goods and services you always buy? Yes, you will. Will you be able to buy things online? Yes, you will. Will you be able to buy things online with the system I'm talking about without having the you know what and the card? Yes, you will. And that's the whole fundamental point. Will you be able to go into the local restaurant and buy things? No, you won't. Will you be able to go to the local corner store and buy stuff? No, you won't. But you'll be able to get all the things that you need, and that's the most important part. And you'll be able to stay outside the system. You'll be able to restructure yourself and stay outside the system. And that's fundamentally what I'm talking about. Is there going to be change and is there going to be impact in your life? Yes. If you want to stay a pure blood, which that's your choice. Again, you do whatever you want to do. If you think the thing's going to help you, do whatever you got to do to help you. But what I'm saying is, unfortunately, they're using this, so you have to get a card. So they have to condition you to scan the card and your money. You've probably seen things like this where people are scanning their hands at Whole Food, their palms. This literally, they didn't even have to put a chip because the veins in your palm and the veins in your hand to be able to get your stuff because they connect that to a debit or credit card that you have on file, and that's how you buy stuff. You just scan it. They're already conditioning people. We've seen WorldCoin. They're conditioning people. Get free crypto, you scan your eye. They're conditioning people for this. And guys, people are doing it in large numbers. That's the problem. That's why I say the rise up that we all need is just simply not going to happen anytime soon. And because of that, you need to start protecting yourself. So is your life going to change? Yes, it is. Do you need to go out and buy endless supplies and goods? No, you don't, because things are going to pivot and things are going to change. You need to protect yourself so you can participate in the future. There's no amount of stuff you're going to be able to. Let's say you're the most extreme prepper and you have places that look like this, 5 years worth of goods. Well, then in 5 years, you're just going to have to partake with the system, and they're just going to wait you out. You need to set yourself up, not with endless toilet paper for no reason, but set yourself up to be able to utilize your assets moving forward, and that is fundamentally important. It's why I've been working on a process to tokenize assets on the blockchain, and it's why a lot of people have been working on projects and processes similar, because this is becoming so important, and this is what they're trying to do. It's going to create gray markets and different economies and spin-off markets, and it's just inevitable, and people are going to have to decide if they're going to move forward. So if you are traveling a lot, by December, I would recommend you find a place that you would be okay with spending some time if you have to, because it's going to happen really fast, and when it does, it's on. There's going to be no travel for a little while, just like last time, in the lockdown period. And then they're not going to reopen it until they start issuing this stuff. So you need to get yourself set up because this is going to happen. Now, the lockdown will happen in December. So when will the actual card start being issued? Early 2024. By early 2024, you're going to start seeing cards that you have to scan to buy stuff, which is good news because it means you still have time to set yourself up. But by early 2024, they're going to have the card. Simultaneously, they're going to have the crypto bill, which is going to make it so you can't use more than $1,000 in crypto. The reason they're doing that is, in their mind, for the average person, they've just been defeated because they don't realize how to use things through a business. They don't realize how to use things through trust. They don't realize, like this video I did of digital trust and how to restructure yourself, or the video down below when I'm talking about how to restructure yourself through trustees. They don't realize any of that. So the average person, if they defeat crypto, they defeat the average person. That was their only path out. And so they're just going to go get the you know what, and they're going to get their card, and they're going to start scanning things. It's a defeatist mentality. Make sure you're in a place that you're okay with being for a little while in December, because you could be there for a little while. And then make sure that, and really October, November, December, I wouldn't do a lot of traveling unless you absolutely have to, is what I'm hearing from everyone in high-level positions. It is going to snap in, and it's going to snap in quick when it does. There's no pre-planned date. It's not like October 15th or October 17th. You're going to see different countries hop on board at different times, and it's going to be, you know, a domino effect just like last time. So you just need to start planning your stuff now, because you understand this is coming. It's going to come quick. You're going to see the signs. You're going to see more and more talk about it. You're going to see more and more things leading up to it. You're going to know what to look for just like last time, and then you're going to be able to check it out. So, and I'll be talking about it all the time on my short videos on Twitter. So like I said, check those out, because I'm talking about all kinds of topics over there and breaking things down. But these are a couple things you want to start thinking about. I go way more in depth in my other video, like I said, because I'm not as censored. So that's kind of part 2 to what I'm saying. Check that video out down below. Really appreciate you guys checking this out. Make sure you start taking action. Do not be scared. Do not have fear. Do not be defeated. It's time to take action. It's time to step up. And it really doesn't matter what country you're in. You're going to be able to take action. You're going to be able to step up, and you're going to be able to get past this. You're going to be able to defeat this, and you're going to be able to stay free, because freedom and privacy go hand in hand. And we're going to come out the other end with both. Really appreciate you guys checking out this video. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. I will keep you guys posted as I hear more information. And I'll see you guys in the next video.